Have you ever noticed that what you find beautiful or attractive doesn't always match what the opposite sex appreciates? Perhaps you, as a man, admire a certain type of woman, but those same women are attracted to a completely different type of man. Well, it's no coincidence. This disagreement on attractiveness between men and women is very real and is based on biological, psychological, and social foundations. Before we continue, I want to welcome those who are just joining us on this journey. Don't forget to let us know in the comments where you're watching this video from. Today we're going to dig deep into this fascinating subject, and I guarantee that by the end of this video, you will see attractiveness from a whole new angle. Stay tuned until the end, because the last point will completely change your perception of human attraction. Part 1. Biological attraction. What our instincts dictate, our preferences in attraction, are deeply rooted in our DNA, stemming from thousands of years of evolution. Men and attraction to youth and fertility. Men are biologically programmed to seek signs of fertility and good health in a woman. For example, smooth skin is perceived as a sign of youth, while an hourglass figure suggests optimal fertility. Additionally, symmetrical features are often seen as indicators of good genetics and health. These traits, while they may seem superficial, hold real value for reproduction. Women in the search for power and status. Women, on the other hand, seek men who can protect them and provide for their needs. This translates into an attraction to signs of dominance and power. Traits like a square jaw, a confident gaze, and a deep voice are associated with strong, self-assured men. These characteristics suggest good genetic potential and the ability to protect a family. Quick test. Gentlemen, do you prefer a woman with a younger, softer face or with more mature features? And ladies, are you more attracted to a tall, charismatic, and confident man? These preferences clearly show the influence of our biological instincts. The influence of pheromones. Pheromones also play a key role in attraction. These chemical substances produced by our bodies unconsciously influence our attraction to someone, often without us realizing it. They help determine if a person is biologically compatible with us. Part 2. Psychological influence. When our brain plays tricks on us. Our preferences are not only dictated by biology, they are also shaped by psychological factors. The halo effect. You probably know this effect. When a person is perceived as beautiful, we tend to attribute additional qualities to them. An attractive woman, for example, is often judged to be kinder and even more competent simply because she meets our beauty criteria. This can sometimes lead us to overestimate her other character traits. But be careful, this effect can be a trap. It pushes us to judge a person solely on physical criteria and ignore deeper aspects of their personality. Perception of charisma. Differences in the perception of charisma also play a major role. For women, a man can become much more attractive if he has charisma, personality, and humor. A man who initially didn't have exceptional features can become appealing by captivating his audience or having an interesting conversation. Women are attracted to the energy a man exudes more than his physical appearance. In contrast, for a man, a woman's humor or personality doesn't necessarily make her more beautiful. His attraction often depends primarily on physical appearance. So have you ever found someone more attractive simply after discovering their personality or sense of humor? It's fascinating to see how the brain can reevaluate a person based on their attitude or behavior. Part 3. Social and cultural norms. The power of media and social networks. The environment we live in plays a fundamental role in how we perceive beauty. The society we live in, with its codes and standards, directly influences what we consider attractive. But be careful, these perceptions are not universal and have evolved significantly over time. 100 years ago, the ideal feminine figure was that of a round and generous silhouette. Women with fuller figures were seen as symbols of fertility, health, and wealth. At that time, fullness was a sign of prosperity and well-being. In contrast, today in many Western countries, the image of beauty is often associated with slimness and finer proportions. Magazines, advertisements, and popular culture promote slim and sculpted bodies. This clearly shows that beauty standards are not fixed and are deeply influenced by history, culture, and the social context in which we live. It's fascinating to note that physical criteria valued in certain societies may be considered less desirable in others. For example, In some Asian cultures, fair skin is often sought after and associated with beauty, while in other parts of the world, a tanned complexion is seen as a sign of a more active and outdoor lifestyle, and thus as an attractive criterion. The influence of media and social networks. Today, another powerful force shapes our perception of attraction. Platforms like Instagram, TikTok, and advertisements constantly expose us to idealized images of beauty. But here lies a trap. What we see on these platforms is often manipulated. Photos are retouched, lighting is perfect, and digital filters transform imperfections into assets. Women, for example, see incredibly thin bodies with perfect curves and glowing skin, while men are confronted with images of muscular, wealthy, and self-assured figures. This phenomenon creates unrealistic expectations that distort our perception of what is truly attractive. We end up believing that these beauty standards are the norm, when they are merely a retouched and filtered version of reality. Social networks in particular encourage a form of constant comparison. Everything is staged: vacations, meals, bodies. It becomes difficult not to compare ourselves to others, especially when bombarded with images of perfect people. But behind these images often lie digital retouching, carefully chosen poses, magical filters, and hours spent adjusting the photo to look their best. A little challenge for you. The next time you find someone attractive on social media, ask yourself this question. Is it really because they are beautiful, or is it due to the effect of the frame, lighting, or applied filters? Part 4. Subjective attractiveness. Why what appeals to one may not appeal to another. If I told you that what you find beautiful today is probably not what you found beautiful 10 years ago, it's fascinating, but attraction truly evolves based on our experiences, our context, and our personal history. Personal experiences. Our tastes in attractiveness are deeply influenced by our experiences. For example, a man who grew up in an environment where his mother was attracted to more artistic might unconsciously develop an attraction to women who embody those traits. It's not a question of universal beauty, but of what we associate with memories, emotions, and family values. Conversely, someone who grew up in a more pragmatic or success-oriented environment might be attracted to people who fit that model of success. Values in education. Similarly, education and cultural or family values play a key role in our preferences. For example, a person raised in a culture that values kindness, gentleness, and empathy will tend to find these qualities more attractive in others. In contrast, someone who grew up in a more competitive environment where strength and ambition are emphasized might be more attracted to traits like self-confidence, ambition, or leadership. The environment we grow up in shapes not only our behaviors, but also our perception of attractiveness. And have you ever found yourself rethinking someone you found incredibly beautiful or attractive in the past, and who today doesn't seem as appealing? This shows how our criteria for attractiveness are not fixed but evolve over time based on our personal journey. Part 5. The last secret. The energy and aura of a person. If you've followed this video so far, you now know that attraction is not solely based on physical appearance. But here's the last secret, the one that surpasses all others. The energy and aura you radiate are far more powerful than any physical characteristic. Indeed, it's this invisible energy that truly attracts people, well beyond your face or body. A confident gaze and upright posture, natural charisma. You don't need to be a model to be irresistible. Sometimes a confident gaze, an upright posture, and a way of walking with assurance can transform an ordinary face into a captivating one. These signs of self-confidence create a magnetic aura, and your face becomes that of a person who knows who they are and what they want. This is what we call presence. It's not necessarily physical beauty that makes the difference, but rather the energy you exude. When you are self-assured, you radiate, and it's this light that attracts others. A person who radiates confidence, passion, and good humor becomes instantly more attractive. Think of someone you know, or even a celebrity, who exudes total self-confidence. Don't you notice that this person becomes much more appealing, even if their physical traits don't necessarily match traditional beauty standards? Well, it's the energy they radiate that creates this attraction. A passionate, enthusiastic, and smiling person is naturally more magnetic than another who. Ask yourself this question. Have you ever met someone who, at first glance, didn't seem particularly attractive, but became incredibly appealing after a few minutes of conversation? That's exactly it, the power of energy. More often than not, we find ourselves attracted to a person's personality and aura much more than their physical traits. A sincere smile, a positive attitude, and contagious energy can make a person irresistible. That's why the energy you radiate is so important in attractiveness. The aura of a person can change the entire perception others have of them. A warm and kind energy attracts people like a magnet. So never forget that your mindset and how you behave with others play a key role in your ability to attract. Conclusion: attractiveness is a fascinating blend of biology, psychology, and social influences. Men and women do not agree on what is beautiful because we have different criteria rooted in us since the dawn of time. But the real lesson here is that beauty is not limited to appearances. What truly makes the difference is your energy, your confidence, and your ability to radiate. If this video taught you something new, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And above all, tell me in the comments, have you ever changed your mind about someone's attractiveness after getting to know them better? I want to know what you think. See you soon for a new video.